AEW Revolution 2023. It's time to do the predictions. Myself, Mex, the WrestleManiac. I'm alongside the man of the hour, man like NK, and of course, got Daddy Del Boy. What you lot saying?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Bless my bro. How you doing?
Yeah, it's pay-per-view time, innit? Pay-per-view weekend times. We had a really good go home show, I must say. Like, I know, like, the general perception of this this upcoming show has been kind of low. Like, people have been kind of feeling like AEW is not really at their best at the moment. But this particular show last night that we had was really good to build towards the pay-per-view. What did you lot think?
Yeah, I thought the show was like quite enjoyable. There was a few elements I didn't like, but yeah, the show was really good. I think the standout for me was obviously the ladder match. But yeah, overall, like, good. Definitely did a lot to, like, with certain storylines needed like a boost, and the show did that, innit? So yeah, good show, good go home show, especially.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I feel like NK said, besides maybe one or two decisions that were probably made in terms of booking, I really did enjoy it. The ladder match was a standout for me. The promos from Adam Page and John Moxley were standouts for me as well. Yeah, overall, it almost made me feel like, maybe we've been tricked. Maybe AEW have been cooking, but you know, that's up to everyone, innit? But yeah, no, it was a very good show.
Yeah, I think they've done some good work, and I think they knew that people's anticipation, like, was a bit, waning for this event, so they pulled out the bag last night, definitely. But yeah, Sunday night, Sunday the 5th of March is AEW Revolution 2023. I'm big up Ola in the chat, nice and early. Big up the members. Nabil as well. Nabil asks his question in early doors. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your excitement levels for the show? NK, start you.
7. I feel like when it's all said and done, I'll walk away from the show happy. I think it's very rare that I don't walk away from an AEW pay-per-view satisfied. But going in, I'd say like a 7. I think it'll be a good show. But like, this doesn't compare to like peak excitement when it comes to AEW shows, innit? So a 7, like, I'm looking forward to it. I'll stay up for it, of course. And this is something I'd watch even if I wasn't a part of the podcast, innit? So yeah, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I would say a 6.5. The weeks leading up to this pay-per-view have been horrendous in my eyes. Like, despite a few matches here and there, AEW is always going to deliver on matches. You know, we're banger badizios. We love bangers, but sometimes, as the fans that we are, we do want stories and entertainment to kind of lead things on, and it hasn't been that. But this go home show has made me go from a 3 to a 6.5, and I'm very much looking forward to the trios match, the main event. Yeah, I'm looking forward to all the matches besides my goats, but other than that, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I would say probably about 7.5. I think for me, it's just the anticipation of an AEW pay-per-view. Always good. Like NK said, rarely doesn't deliver. And we haven't had one for months now. Like, literally months. Like, we're about 4 to 5 months away since the last one. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we get on the night in terms of, some of the quality matches, which we're gonna discuss shortly. We've got 8 matches on this card. The 7 regular matches, and then of course we've got a 60-minute Iron Man match. We've had the first match we're going to talk about is the one that was just added. It is the no holds barred match between Christian and Jungle Boy.
Wait, when did this get added? I'm so confused. Wait,
it literally got added. We'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, firstly, big love to all the live viewers. You guys, if you're new here, welcome. Hit the subscribe button. If you are a regular, you know what to do. Hit the like button, share the video, and that.
Keep the chat active. Keep the chat active.
We're taking comments from the chat, so you guys give your predictions too. We'll pick up on them. So yeah, they added this on Twitter though. a matter of hours ago, not too long ago. But yeah, they've announced it's going to be a no holds barred match. Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Obviously, they've been going at it for quite a long time. Am I right in thinking they had a match at All Out last year?
No, so they were supposed to,
But they had that
but
little
then
squash thing in it.
yeah, then they did the squash thing, and then they were supposed to have a match at Full Gear, but Christian was still injured, so they did the whole Luchasaurus match instead.
That was Cage match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
So it was, so basically the feud ended, but it ended with Luchasaurus rather than this. So I'm guessing they're spinning it back to have the actual match with Christian Cage, which I'm not mad at, but I'd rather this could have been like, I don't know, a beach break match. Do you know what I'm saying?
This is
Like,
a fight for the fallen match, man.
Yeah.
Who won that squash? I'm guessing Christian.
The squash match, I think Christian won, but then the cage match, Jungle Boy won.
Jungle Boy won, yeah. Yeah, so Jungle Boy Jack Perry, obviously we saw the promo. Christian cut a hell of a promo, to be fair, with Renee Paquette in the ring last night. And then you saw the vignette of Jack Perry kind of getting into his Darby Allin bag, digging out a grave for Christian. So, you know, he's obviously got violence on his mind. They got a nose hold barred match. For me, first thing I'll ask you guys, what's your opinion on them kind of going so, like, obviously this didn't get wrapped up, like we were just saying, because of injury somewhere in between. But AEW kind of have a thing about, you know, if something's on the shelf or someone is on the shelf, okay, we'll shelf it literally, and then we'll get back to it when a person's fit, rather than maybe just kind of moving on.
I think in this case, I don't mind it because Jungle Boy wasn't doing much anyway. But in general, I think they do it way too much. Like, there's some feuds that, do you know what it is? I feel like AEW, there's bare feuds that reach their natural conclusion. Like, the prime example last year was Jericho Appreciation Society and Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
Like, it reached this conclusion at least 6 or 7 times. Anarchy in the Arena was a conclusion. Blood and Guts could have been a conclusion. At bare times that there could have been conclusions, but then they kept going. So I feel like it's an overall, and then what that does is that it harms you when you do stuff like this, where I don't mind it coming back because, like, yeah, Christian, like, Jungle Boy never settled the score with Christian at all. He settled the score with Luchasaurus. So, like, in this, like I said, I don't think it needs to be on the pay-per-view. But if they did this at like Beach Break or Fight for the Fallen, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But I think over repetition ends up harming other things that deserve repetition.
I do also think there's an issue within the IWC as well. On the other hand, where when things are left without conclusion, people always have this question of, so what happened to this? We never actually got a final conclusion. So, I mean, like NK said, AEW don't do it way too many times, but it's like, it's the conflict of, do we actually want to tie up the loose ends, or do we just want to let them have a natural conclusion? So, on this end, I'm not really fussed because I've been liking this program so far. It's just run its course a little bit, obviously due to injury. So it'll be nice for it to just meet its tail end and, you know, move on.
Yeah, likewise. I have enjoyed this program from when they originally started it. Obviously, it's just a long hiatus, and then obviously if Christian's come back, and I think Christian's literally been on TV for maybe about 2 weeks or so, 2-3 weeks, and it's like pay-per-view, and it's just like, like, I wouldn't even mind if they told a bit more of a story and still done this match, but in a more deserving slot. Like, but
I'd rather this match over another match, though. I'll get to the other match.
I mean, yeah.
My question to you guys is, okay, cool. Once this match is done, what's next for both of these guys? Like, what do you anticipate next for both of these guys? Because with Christian's promo, he did say he wants a singles title.
Yeah,
I can't lie. Give him that All Atlantic belt, bro.
I hear it.
Give him that All Atlantic belt.
Yeah, I hear it. And then him and Orange Cassidy would be a very interesting feud.
Yeah,
that'd be a very good feud. With Jungle Boy, I don't know. They tried this jungle hook thing. I wasn't feeling it. I don't know. Do you know what? I've noticed something with AEW. Where are the mid-card heels? Like, obviously you've got Christian, but like, where are really the mid? Like, obviously you've got Joe, but like you haven't like.
Roosh?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Jungle Boy should be doing. Because I feel like Jungle Boy, like, he's always a guy, like, each year there'll be a point in time where he's hot and then he'll cool down and get hot again. Like, it's happened a lot. I'm sure they'll find something for him because they value him highly. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like with the question. Like Christian, I thought he'll be fine. Like Christian's good enough to find himself anywhere, and we've seen that Tony Khan clearly values him highly when he did a whole press tour about we have a surprise superstar coming, and it was Christian. Yeah. So Christian will be fine. It's more so Jungle Boy. I wouldn't say I'm worried, but I'm just more so curious about what he does next after this, innit? Maybe he hasn't won a singles title,
no.
But then Hobbs. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, him and Hobbs is viable.
Well, Jungle Boy, that'd actually be good for him. That'd actually be good for him.
You don't think he's above it in terms of just the popularity of what he's got to? If he goes to Ring of Honor, he's pretty much gonna have to be like a main eventer, surely.
I wouldn't mind that.
I mean, him versus Claudio will be a good match.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him in Ring of Honor at all. Him and Lucha. I was gonna say Jurassic Express aren't a thing anymore. I was gonna say them as a tag team, but then they're not a thing anymore. So I don't know.
Zero Gravity Wrestling, big up you. In the chat, we got Harv. This match had the best build behind Mox and MJF. Danielson deserved pay-per-view slot for sure, in my opinion. Capital Squeeze, Christian was talking crazy. Jungle Boy has to settle this one.
Yeah.
Harv again says Christian should win. Need a Christian title run bad. Have Jungle Boy win it off him later this year.
Harv, what title? Let us know what title.
He's alluded to TNT and All Atlantic for Christian. So yeah, it's probably one of them.
All Atlantic. I think the TNT title's in a good place right now. I think it's in a good place. I think All Atlantic's the one that needs a bit of a buffer.
Yeah, something happened. Yeah, that's true. Big up Knowledge. Knowledge says Christian and Jungle Boy have had only one match. A conclusion with Jungle Boy winning is essential to the story. Yeah, I think so. Obviously, Jungle Boy is clearly who they want to kind of get over here and give the rub to, so to speak. Capital Squeeze. Hobbs versus Jungle Boy for the TNT title down the road would be good. I agree.
Yeah,
so, who's you guys' prediction for this match? Christian versus Jungle Boy, and of course we've got the stipulation on no holds barred.
Jungle Boy.
Yeah, Jungle Boy for the win.
Yeah, that's to win that match, man.
Cool. Yeah, I think they've waited long enough. It probably is Jungle Boy. Cool. All right then. Let's move on. We've got a 4-way tag match. AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. The champions, the Guns, defending against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, the Acclaimed, and the winners of the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal, who we found out in the main event of Dynamite is Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Firstly, guys, what do we think about the inclusion of Orange Cassidy and Danhausen in this match?
For what reason? For why? For what reason?
I think it's to get OC on the card.
I wasn't fucking with that, fam. I wasn't fucking with that.
Why?
Man got reverb.
I wasn't fucking with that at all. I was angry. I can't lie.
That was stupid. Like for me, because for already, when I saw the splits, I was like, okay, cool. I was not against when it was initially announced that the Revolution match would be like a 4-way tag. I wasn't against that. I was like, do you know what? This should be a good opportunity to showcase a lot of other teams and so on and so forth. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, cool. I don't mind Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Them man are fine. Yeah, I don't mind them man. But I just felt like it would have been like you've put guys like Top Flight on TV. You know, you've got John Silver and Alex. Like, but that you could have put any one of the teams you put on the Rampage card for this week into that fourth loss, and it would have been fine. But it's like, what? Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, bro. Danhausen is a 0-hour guy. He's like Danhausen's jokes, but I don't want to see him wrestling for a tag team championships. And it could have used a team that, you know what, we probably think that either the Acclaimed gain back the titles or the Guns retained, which is fine. We could have just slotted in a dynamic tag team for whatever reason. Fam, you got Aussie Open. Like, you could have just threw them in a random match, like for whatever reason, and nobody would have complained.
I think this is a quote unquote business move. I think Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, they both do like big numbers for them, maybe in terms of merch and stuff like that. Like they're just popular cats in it, and they just wanted to stick them in this match. Like, I can't see any other reason as to why them and not the likes of Lucha Bros, Aussie Open, like you said, Dark Order, what the brothers called, Top Flight, FTR. Like FTR was the one that a lot of people were kind of saying, oh, FTR probably going to find their way into this match and win the tag team championships. Now they're not even, confirmed at this point. They're not even on the pay-per-view. Del, what's your general thoughts of where the tag team championships are right now in AEW? Is he frozen?
No.
Our guy's frozen. NK, what's your thoughts on that?
The gutter. I'm so like I know Del's a big fan of the Guns. Like, fair enough. I don't see it with them, but I was okay with the experiment in terms of because a lot of the teams people were predicted were guys who were already established. Like, let's be real. As much as FTR having a title reign would have been sick, bro. Like, they've had a good run and they're established. They don't really need the ramp. So putting the titles on their claim was the right thing to do. And I think for an inexperienced team to come up and have a reign like that was fine. The Guns was fine. I was fine with the Guns, provided that it led to FTR. Do you know what I'm saying? Them having a good match with FTR would have been fine. But now it's just like, not only are you putting the titles on, guys we're not familiar with, but like, you have a lot of talented guys that people would want to see. And I'm not even suggesting take the titles off the Guns, but this could have been you've been pushing you've been pushing what's their names again? Dante Martin and his brother Darius. Top Flight. You've been pushing Top Flight for weeks and weeks and weeks on TV. And it's like, you know what? They've been doing well to been getting good ratings. There's a team that we've seen kind of rise through the ranks.
Yeah,
put them on a pay-per-view. It makes sense. We've seen them consistently, but it's like that, like Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. For what reason? It's just silly. Like, and I love Orange Cassidy, but he has no. If he's gonna be on the pay-per-view, put his title on the line. Like, why are we putting him in this silly ass match? Like, it don't make sense.
Yeah, for the sake of the division, Del, do you think like this last spot should have actually been occupied by like an actual tag team?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would have had maybe someone else be showcasing this team in the tag team match. Maybe the likes of LFI, Roosh and Preston Vance, Top Flight. Like NK said, we've got Aussie Open there. Like, why have they flown all the way to America to just come and show up in a Casino Battle Royal and do nothing? Like, there's so many different tag teams that we could have actually had in this match for this match to be as dynamic as it could be. But like you said, it could be a factor of them pushing numbers. Danhausen and Orange Cassidy are clearly draws for them to be in this match. So, I mean, if that's the case, then, boy, I would have definitely had someone else be on this match, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I didn't see this coming at all. But as soon as they kind of entered last and everything, and they said best friends weren't in it no more and stuff, I thought, what are they pulling here? And then they pulled it. But yeah, let's jump into the chat. Harv says Jeff Jarrett is fire. He's a heel in the company.
I want to see. I can't lie. I was a part of the Satnam Singh slander campaign. I humbly apologize. I was wrong.
You rate Satnam?
Cooking.
I was wrong. He's hilarious. Satnam is just funny. Like,
Satnam is the one. Satnam is the one.
Like, he's funny. Like, every time I see him, but he's like he's used sparingly, and it's just like, I love him. Like, he's hilarious. Every time I see Satnam, I smile. At first, like, I was against this guy. Maybe it's my agenda against any man that's a 7 foot in wrestling. Who knows? But Satnam, he's not a part of them man no more. Like, I like him. He's funny.
I like him as part of their act. But I've said like Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, like Jeff Jarrett has given Jay Lethal another lease of life within AEW because Homeboy was floundering before Jeff just came in, and they've been very entertaining together. Like even when they thought they beat the Acclaimed for the tag team championships, I popped. I said, yeah, good. Like,
no, I can't lie. Bear will cooking Jeff Jarrett for coming, but I can't lie. Jeff Jarrett's been doing these things.
I was one of them. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was one of them. I thought he had that one pay-per-view match, didn't he? When he first came in.
I think so. Yeah, maybe.
I think was it Sting and Darby, maybe.
Yeah, when he debuted. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had a pay-per-view match, and they said he was gonna then go back into like head office or something like that. So I was cool with that. And then he kept turning up, but then he was actually good. Like, so I thought
he's been cooking, cool. Man.
Yeah, he's been
cooking since GCW when you had that match with Effie.
GCW.
He's been cooking.
Big up AJ. She says Jeff Jarrett as a tag champ. Yeah, I hear it. Nabil
Not
says,
yet, though.
You don't think so?
Not yet, man. Let the Gun Club cook, man.
Oh yeah, well, I don't mind giving them a chance. To be fair,
yeah,
especially if this is what the division is looking like right now.
Yeah,
then I don't mind. Nabil says Aussie Open should have won. I think that's what NK you were saying as well. Half Aussie Open already had a match for New Japan same date as Rev. Okay, maybe that's why they could be involved. Zero Gravity Wrestling. Jeff Jarrett thinks it's in 2003 again. Capital Squeeze says the trios titles have damaged the tag division for sure.
I don't think so, I think both of them could coexist if they were booked right properly. It just hasn't been booked right. I feel like there's guys. I feel like I was like someone who was very adamant upon trios, and my thing is that I wanted the trios division to be like kind of a conveyor belt. So there'll be guys obviously that aren't utilized in tag team wrestling, right? You kind of the guys who aren't doing much of nothing, cool. Put them in the trios division and kind of be a conveyor belt thing of like, okay, cool, because they have a big roster, have bare teams here and there. It's like, okay, the guys who aren't doing much in the tag team division, put them in a trios division program for a couple months and then kind of rotate around. But it kind of feels like, okay, no one's doing anything in the trios division and then no one's doing anything in the tag division. So it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, this is the problem. A lot of the guys that are higher up in terms of hierarchy, in terms of the divisions, they're being given both the tag belts and the trios. So, for example, the Gun Club now have the tag team belts, but the Elite have the trios belt. Well, I love the Gun Club, but a lot of people don't care for them. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, they've got the trios titles. The minute they lose that belt, and the Young Bucks now could decide to go back to the tag team division, the trios belt's going to take a back burner, and that's how it should be. The trios belt should not be even on the same level competing. It should be below it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the tag team should kind of be like the premier tag division belt sort of thing. Okay, predictions. So the Guns, will they retain? Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, will they win? The Acclaimed, will they win their titles back? Or do we get Danhausen and OC winning? What do you think?
Guns retain.
Guns retain. Del?
Guns retain, man.
Yeah, I think the same. Guns will retain there. Okay, cool. Next match. I think this is the one that people could probably do without. The Ocho, Chris Jericho, going up against Ricky Starks. They've had this feud ever since kind of Ricky's come into his own earlier this year. They've had a match. There was a dusty finish, if you like, somewhat. Hence why everyone is banned from ringside. No JAS basically in his corner. No Action Andretti coming to help Ricky Starks. It's just Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. You see this program here. I don't know. I haven't minded it, but it didn't need a pay-per-view match in my opinion.
This program has been trash to me. I mind greatly. This has been trash.
It stinks.
It's been absolute doo-doo. I was do you know what it is? The first 2 weeks when Jericho Starks were going out, I was invested. But then, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Starks win the match? Or am I
Oh,
bad?
this Starks. I think no, you're right. Starks did win
Yeah,
that
for
match,
Starks-
didn't he?
So from time Starks won the match, what's there to feud about? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Starks beat him, and obviously Jericho did his Jericho snap. But here's the thing, and I've noticed, like, it's a conveyor belt with Jericho. It's like in the AEW, it's like he'll start, he'll go whatever order. He'll start a feud, has promise. He'll run the legs off it. We'll start questioning. The Twitter will be like, IWC will be like, oh, is Jericho washed? Is Jericho washed? He'll cook and then run that feud to the wheels fall off, and it'll be the same cycle all over again. This feud has been garbage since day one. This don't deserve even to be on the 0 hour. This shouldn't even be a feud. This is a waste of Ricky Stark's time. This is a waste of Jericho's time. This is a waste of my time. This is a waste of Tony Khan. This is a waste of everyone's time. This match, I'm going toilet in this match. Like I'm not watching this nonsense on my TV screen. This is bad. This is basura. This is trash.
Like you said in the Discord, NK, you're not really gonna get away with having a pay-per-view without Chris Jericho, unless he's injured, which he hasn't been for any of these pay-per-views so far. He's been ever present. So they need something to kind of involve him in. I mean, let's go to the chat and see what people are saying about this. Harv says, bro, I'm telling you, Paul White is the most death saving Jericho trademarks Jerry show, you know. Oh, I think because Paul White said he's gonna come back to wrestling soon. Nabil, Starks is above this. This feud should have ended after the first Dynamite of the year. Jericho never ending. Vortex is back, for fuck's sake. Io says, yeah, Starks is already 1-0. Clean. Zero gravity wrestling. This needs to be the end of Jericho and Starks.
If Jericho makes a score 1-1, we're gonna get this feud to double or nothing. If Jericho wins, we're gonna get this to double or nothing. And you know what it's gonna be? JAS versus Starks and Andretti and whatever Mandem they bring from there here to here. Anarchy in the arena. I'm not for it. I don't want it. But I'm telling you, for the sake of my sanity, Jericho must lose clean. Jericho cannot win this match, because if he wins the match, the feud's gonna continue.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not trying to see Paul White in the Anarchy in the arena, man. That's a myth. That's a big mistake. I'm not gonna see that. Paul White, man, stay home.
Lincoln, big up Lincoln. He says Jericho does this all the time, man. And Io says if Jericho wins, it's going till all out. Not gonna lie,
bruv.
Yeah, we could do without that. So predictions for this one. I'm gonna go over Ricky Starks win. What are you guys thinking?
Must win Ricky Starks.
I'm gonna go with Ricky Starks as well. He has to win that, man.
I mean, Jericho could win and make it 1-1, but let's.
Yay.
We have to also look at history as well. Jericho's always been known as a giver. He tends to give up.
Yeah, no, to be fair.
Could be. You know? He gave Action, whatever his name is, Action, gave him one. So.
I don't know why he's involved. Like, why? Like, Action Andretti, he's a good dark man. Like, he's fine. But, like, these are the guys that should be elevation undefeated, fam. Like, I don't want to see.
It's Jericho that extended the olive branch.
No, but Jericho does this all the. Jericho has these weird vanity projects here where he will take a guy he takes a liking to. Big up Suge D. I'm not saying but I remember he had the whole obsession with Pineapple Pete thing.
Yeah, Pineapple Pete. Yeah,
and it was like, why? Like, obviously, Suge D's the type of guy that deserves to be on TV, but not with that. Not that feud. But yeah, I don't know, bro. He gets these weird vanity projects, and he's like, oh, I like this guy. I want to work with this guy for. Even the Orange Cassidy thing that went on for months.
He's got delusions of grandeur, man. He thinks he can change the world with. Bruv, I don't know.
Look, I swear to God, this is exactly like Orange Cassidy. Because Orange Cassidy beat him clean. Then they drew 1-1. Then they had Mimosa Mayhem Madness Suki like a Saturn match. And then it was like, bruv, you did your job the first time. You gave Orange Cassidy the clean win. Why do we need to extend it? So I should now be hearing should I be hearing Judas for 10 minutes and I'll in the arena? Move, man.
Overdoing it for real. But yeah, Ricky Starks all around. Hopefully this is the end of that feud.
Please.
Cool. We're gonna get on to our next match, one of the big matches on the night. You guys in the chat, thanks for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new here. Let's jump into the next one. Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page. Probably one of the better built matches on this card. We've seen these guys have, you know, a couple of wars at this point, two to three wars on Dynamite, blood, concussions, all of that kind of stuff. Just really trying to kind of prove who the better man here is. And, you know, it's been a very simple story that they've told, but like I was saying, it's one of the better stories they've told coming into this pay-per-view, and it's all gonna it's culminating in a Texas death match. Del, what's your thoughts been on this feud?
What music is this? This is Banga Badizio, baby.
Hey, bro. Fam, I can't lie. This feud has been absolutely... What a way to turn nothing into something. A match that a first match that started off from a terrible concussion, a terrible accident to this. They've turned lemons into Sprite and Mountain Dew. And brother, it's like each week, as much as we've been complaining about AEW, each week I'm finding something new to be invested in this match. Besides the blood, I feel like the blood has been a bit too much at times. But it's like each week, like, do you know what I'm kind of putting it towards? I'm kind of putting it towards like Kenta versus Marufuji. Each match that they're having, they're taking it up another level. And this match on Sunday, I don't know, brother, I don't even know if we're ready for this one. I can't lie to you. This is gonna have match of the year ramifications on it. I can't lie.
I was just about to say it's potential show stealer,
bro. And after the year Moxley had last year, he hasn't let up. He's just been bleeding a bit more unnecessarily. But this match, this match is going to be Banga Badizio, baby.
There's definitely some, you know, on paper matches will say, yeah, this match is going to bang, and this match makes a lot of sense, and this is going to be a really good match. But just because of like you're saying, the level of story and the psychology that they can do, and it's a death match. Like this is Moxley's playground. Hangman is not afraid to kind of get his hands dirty as well, and you know, participate in matches of this style. Yeah, this just on that kind of level, away from the actual kind of more spot kind of matches, spot fest kind of matches. This could be, you know, like I say, match of the night. NK, what's your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I've loved this storyline from the beginning. Just even and I feel like this storyline it's kind of gone under the radar for a long period of time. I feel like right now it's been heating up, but like even like the interviews Hangman had with Renee, where it was like, you know, obviously Moxie gave him a concussion, then he gave Moxie a concussion. I remember like the interviews been having Renee where it'll be easy to be like, oh, do you know what? I batted up your husband, but they've played it like normally.
It's like awkward kind of tension.
It's like, you know, I respect you, and I'm like, you know, I'm sorry that you're involved in this by proxy, but like I've got issue, and even you can still tell there's a respect level there between Moxie and Hangman, but it's like, you know, as a man, I'm not gonna allow you to like give me concussions, and I'm gonna give you back your receipt. And I feel like it's evolved into like even the promos between Moxley and Hangman yesterday were excellent, where, you know, this is Moxley's realm. Moxley was very much, I'm excited for this. You know, this is my domain. And the Hangman, it could have been easy for Hangman to be like, yeah, I'm just as bad as you. But Hangman was like, nah, like, I don't like this type of stuff. Like, I've got it in me, but like, I don't want to be here. But I will do what I must. And I feel like it's just a great understanding of each wrestler's dynamic and each wrestler's character. And yeah, man, I feel like this match, this is my most anticipated match of the night. And I feel like because not only have the matches between these guys delivered, but because you've got a good story behind it, I feel like everyone's investment going into this match will just take this match into another level in terms of like, there'll be matches with more entertaining spots or more dynamic movement. But in terms of like our investment going in and like the two wrestlers involved, I feel like this could easily be show stealer.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be up there. We got Capital Squeeze here saying, "Let's go, my guy. Hangman is getting the W in a banger." Atlas, big up Atlas. You're gonna see him on the podcast that you guys are getting tomorrow, so look out for that. Atlas says, "Real banger baddies." Yeah, we know this one's gonna deliver, bro. And Half says Hangman has evolved during this feud. He's somehow even better than what he was when entering this feud. I mean, just a word on Hangman. Like, I think it's quite comfortable to say he is probably the best character in this whole TV show. Like on AEW, like from the jump, from day one. Like, he's the only one that is like, his character has been consistent. And it's literally you most likely get like a new layer every time he's on TV. And even like we're saying with the promos with Renee backstage, the backstage interviews, like it's still that kind of the anxious cowboy. Like, I don't know how to play this off. Like, this is my man's wife. I bodied him though. Like it's bare kind of awkward sort of thing. Like every time they put this guy in front of a camera, like he's really like living who he's supposed to be.
Yeah, I feel like he's like, when there's obviously AEW will continue, but when you look back at AEW, he's like one of AEW's biggest success stories. The fact that like just how, because obviously in ring we always knew how talented he was from his days in Bullet Club and Ring of Honor. He was always, but I just feel like this, and I feel like is his character's a breath of fresh air. Like there is nobody in wrestling like Hangman Page. And just the different storylines he's been in, the arcs he's gone on. And I feel like the reason why he is polarizing to a few fans out there is because he doesn't fit the typical archetype of like what we see in traditional wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like he's very much a character that wears his heart on his sleeve and is super vulnerable. Where, you know, we're used to characters, you know, like kind of like Moxie. Like Moxie kind of fits the archetypical build of a wrestler. Like I'm tougher than, do you know what I'm saying? I'm tougher than everyone, you know, I'm the baddest man on the block, do you know what I'm saying? Where Hangman's very much not that. Like he can prove himself in ring and he's not a joke, man. But like, I don't know, I just feel like Hangman's that a breath of fresh air in wrestling, and I feel like he's one of AEW's biggest success stories.
That promo that Moxley cut on the stairs that they got from last week with the blood like coming out of his eye, basically. Like I said, nah, this guy's different level, man.
He's insane.
Atlas says here, Hangman is one of the best baby faces. He's a proper depiction of someone who isn't perfect but wants to be a good dude. That's it. Like his motivations are clear, like of what he wants to do, and he doesn't want to kind of, you know, bend the rules and that, but is willing to, like you said. Atlas says breaks the classic Cena, Hogan, boring type babyface. No, yeah, I definitely get that. And after he's here, he's laughing at the promo of Moxley.
What was wrong with the promo?
The blood, the bleeding that man. They might have to be an unlockable character in the game. Let's talk predictions now. Del, Hangman or Moxley for you? What are you thinking?
Hangman, let Moxley go on holiday, man. It's enough. He's tried. He's carried this company on his back. He's been giving us banger after banger after banger after banger, bro.
At this point,
you see this match, and bro, go and enjoy Renee, man. Please take a break, man. Come back. And even on that, yeah, you see when Hangman gets his second AEW title reign.
It's gonna be fucking long, mate. It's gonna be a fucking long one.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Hangman. But you know, at this point, I don't think the way Moxley's been on television, does he want to take holiday? The way he's bladed on television, that's not a man that wants to take holiday. That's a man that wants to blade next week. You know what I'm saying?
Moxley will be cutting promos in his crib via satellite, and he'll be.
Moxley's gonna be literally cutting himself during promos very soon. Like
I'm telling you, you see when Moxley comes back from his holiday, wild things. You're gonna just see him already bleeding.
Blood.
I'm not.
No, I'm definitely with you guys. I think Hangman, you know, it's weird to say he gets the rub from Moxley, but like he needs to put you know, the bow in this. And Moxley's had kind of 2022, we always say, it's his year, like sort of thing. So he's not like he's on a giving back tour right now, but he doesn't need to be, you know, kind of necessarily in the center.
The guy's only lost like I think in his he's lost like maybe under 7 matches.
I think it's like 3 matches.
Yeah, bruv. Like he don't lose in it. So this means something.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to another match, which it looked like there's going to be some implications off the back of the Dynamite show, but maybe not yet anyway. We're talking about the TNT Championship, the TNT and the Ring of Honor World TV Champion, the King of Television, Samoa Joe, defending his title against Wardlow. Wardlow returned to TV a couple of weeks back, laid the challenge out after Samoa Joe got back the title from Darby Allin. Obviously, last night on Dynamite, we saw the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Really fun match. And it had Will Hobbs going over. He climbed the ladder with 3 referees holding that janky ladder to pull down that ring and kind of christen himself the next contender for this championship. I feel like on commentary, there was a bit of uncertainty whether it was going to be Wardlow or Hobbs at the pay-per-view, or both, or whatever the case is. Looks like it's been cleared up. It's going to be Wardlow, and I believe Hobbs gets his opportunity on Wednesday.
The Wednesday after.
Firstly, what's our thoughts on Hobbs being the number 1 contender?
About time. And like he was cold. He was sick in that match. Even in the spot towards the end where he literally ran through the ladder. He actually broke the ladder just by running through it. I was like, yeah, like it's time. It's time. I feel like because. Correct me if I'm wrong. I swear he was actually in the TNT title match during Wardlow's title run, and
it was a triple threat, wasn't it?
It was a triple threat, yeah. So I feel like it's now or never. I feel like the TNT title's kind of been rejuvenated again a little bit. It's so it'd be the perfect time to give the title on Hobbs, and yeah, man, he's been doing the Book of Hobbs stuff that hasn't been going anywhere. But if it goes to this, then it kind of makes those weeks not justifiable, but okay, at least we went somewhere. So, but I just feel like Will Hobbs in general is a plus side. He'd be a very interesting champion, and I just feel like Will Hobbs would be a great champion. It's time to move the title on. And the thing I've liked about at least this TNT, the TNT title in general, that nobody holds it for too long. Like everyone has it for like a couple months and at most, and then it skips on.
Good little stints, sort of enough kind of title defenses in that time as well, and then move on. Del, what are you saying? What do you think?
I was thinking this Book of Hobbs that we've been reading for how many months? He's been reading to us every week. Omar, we're tired, please. And like we mentioned on the podcast as well, it seems like every time we have this Face of the Revolution ladder match, people win and they never go on to win the title. Hobbs, this has to be the time that. Because I think one of my issues with AEW is that they fail to kind of like create prestige when it comes to certain matches with stipulation. So you've got the casino, not the casino, the Dynamite Diamond Ring, whatever. That's a gimmick for MJF at this point. So we know nobody's going to win that. This Face of the Revolution, people have been winning, but nobody actually goes on and gets the big title. So at this point, let Will Hobbs be the one to kind of set precedence to that. And then even if he has a short reign, 2-3 months, I'll be satisfied with it. So I don't think Wardlow is going to win the title. I feel like, we're not getting to predictions yet, but yeah, I'm happy with Samoa Joe keeping his title.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like Samoa Joe has, like Inke said, has rejuvenated
him and Darby for sure.
And this whole King of Television stint, he's doing the TV title and the TNT. Bro, it's perfect for him. And months ago, we said this guy's cooked. But he spat in our face and said, "Nope, that's not the case." So, I'm definitely intrigued to see this match. It's going to be big meat slapping each other. Pause. It's going to be a good match.
Big men slapping meat. Am I right in thinking that this the Sonic Ring one, the Face of Revolution, has always been for the TNT Championship, and the Casino chip has always been for the world title?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this does look like a very kind of likely thing. Okay, so to get into predictions then, we don't think Wardlow's doing much of anything at the pay-per-view, but then Will Hobbs might become champion by Wednesday.
Yeah. I don't mind it. Listen, as long as all roads lead to Will Hobbs, I'm fine. So if for example, let's say Wardlow beats Joe in a shock victory, and Will Hobbs like dominantly defeats Wardlow, it still makes Will Hobbs look strong. I just think like my thing is post Wednesday, Will Hobbs has to be champ. That's my primary concern. Like, if any, I don't. This match is kind of whoever wins or loses doesn't matter to me. I'd prefer Samoa Joe to win, but then it'd be heel versus heel. I don't know if how the dynamic would work, but whatever. You can still make the match work because Samoa Joe is quite likable. But regardless, as long as all roads lead to chapter 7 of Book of Hobbs, I'm fine.
At this point, it's chapter 15 because we've been waiting for how long? But I've even got a question for you guys quickly. Do you guys think maybe because Ring of Honor is now back, that may be a factor in Joe potentially losing the belt?
Yeah, that's a good point. And going to be the proper TV champion over there, because just as you were just saying, even as good as he's been as the king of television, since he's won that Ring of Honor TV title, he ain't done niche with it. Like, it's literally been there to fulfill the name King of TV, which is, I guess, has been somewhat fine because
he might as well win the TBS belt at this point as well.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think maybe that's the plan, and he can obviously, with his experience, go and help over there. Yeah, for me, I think
that's what Jungle Boy can do. Ring of Honor television title. That's what Jungle Boy can do.
I'm
not ready for Joe to lose that belt. I'm so sorry.
Not to Jungle Boy. Not to Jungle
Boy.
And personally, I still feel Jungle Boy he's worked his way into a position over these years that he's a bit above that. But yeah, I mean, it's an idea. Yeah, I think you give Samoa Joe one kind of big win against Wardlow. Obviously, Wardlow's another physically imposing guy as well, so that looks. He basically looks mad going into face Will Hobbs a matter of 2-3 days later. And then obviously when Will Hobbs scalps Joe, Will Hobbs looks like the big beast on campus sort of thing, innit? But where do you think this leaves Wardlow for him to kind of come back? He's told this story of, you know, his dad and the likeness to his dad and cutting the hair and all of this kind of stuff. And he just goes into his next match since that kind of little repackaging and loses.
Do you know what? I've always said this with Wardlow, that they missed the trick of. I think the best thing about Wardlow was like when he was a mad animal and just like I wanted like not maybe turn Wardlow heel, but like I remember the spot he did even yesterday where he power bombed the security off the ramp. I just want to see him be a raging madman, just like getting into like brawls backstage, just being an absolute like anarchist.
What do you think? The powerbomb symphony killed him.
I hated that shit
with the crowd chanting and you know all of that stuff.
That shit was so corny. I'll be real, man.
It
works for jobbers, but if you're in a match with Samoa Joe, you're gonna tell me you're gonna powerbomb him 50 times before you win the match. Come on, man. Be guided. Let's be honest. Like let's turn it on a little bit.
Yeah, like you're saying, NK, I think he done his best work as just a mad heel. Like, yeah, the babyface stuff. Wardlow's world is one thing I can't stand. Every time he says that, I cringe. Like, what does that even mean, bro? It's a bit of a weird one. But
even with the story with like he cut the promo not last week but the week before, it was like a not a vignette but like a package.
The sit down,
and it was like, you know what, this is actually good, but on the other hand, of someone watching, I find it very hard to sympathize with Wardlow. Like, I get the whole story, but at the same time, I don't look at Wardlow as someone like I shouldn't have to sympathize for you. Like, you're actually a big man. Like, you're this raging monster that you're presented on TV. Fair enough, cool. The hair represents something. But at the same time, like, if Braun Strowman was now to come and do a similar story like that, all of us would look at him like, come on, man.
Yeah, because
you're doing choo-choo train around the ring. And now it's the same story you want us to believe. Come on, man. I find it hard to sympathize with him.
It could have been like what we got from Danielson last night, like baby face, but like big passion, big energy, like sort of thing. Like that's probably more the road that Wardlow should go down if he's gonna be a baby face, more so than, you know, telling stories about his dad and how that meant to him.
That's what he's talking too much. If Samoa Joe just completely cut off his hair and then he returned bold I'm invested. He should win the belt. But you're just talking too much, man. You're giving me too much story, man.
I hear it. Jamie says it's time for Hobbs to get the push he deserves. We agree with that. Harv says, I don't know why book this. Wardlow can't lose, otherwise he'll just look like some joke man, and Joe can't lose the title yet.
I think you have to book this match eventually, because you can't have Samoa cut a man's hair off and then him just go and do nothing. Like Wardlow had to get his theoretical get back in it, but
especially if the hair means something to him as well. So.
Yeah.
Half says Wardlow's got to drop that powerbomb shit ASAP. Be more like Jeff Hardy, like he used to be before, with the Swantoms and the Whisper in the Winds.
Do you know how big this guy is?
I never seen him do no Whisper in the Wind.
He can't do that shit ever.
No, do you know what it is? He used to have a move where he put somebody in the turnbuckle and used to knee them in the face.
Yeah, that was a cold move.
Yeah, I thought that should have been his finisher or something. Like
Powerbomb Symphony, that is
even that wasn't his finisher. The F10.
F10, yeah.
But Wardlow's a strong guy, but because even with the powerbombs, he struggles to get certain people up. I think maybe the F10 was like a thing where it's like you can't get the full rotation on it with certain guys in it, so scrap it in it.
I'll end up being an F3.
Yeah,
certain man aren't even. Certain man don't spin it.
Yeah, so I look, do you know what it is? Yeah, I don't mind like Powerbomb Symphony. I didn't mind it. Like if it was like, let's say he don't need to powerbomb everyone 20 times. Let's say he just did one powerbomb and then another one for authority, like 2. That's fine. But when you're doing 12 on
Symphony, doing this to the crowd, like, oh come on.
The pageantry of it when it's to jobbers, I'm here for.
Yeah.
But then when you're in a match with CM Punk, you do one powerbomb. Then you're now going to do another powerbomb. Then you're now going to do another one. And then you're doing this with other mainstay people. Come on, man. The jig is up. We're not trying to watch that shit, man.
When it's these like cruiserweight jobbers, it looks good.
Pete Avalon, give him 50. I'll even jump in the ring and do it with you. You're now coming to do it against Samoa Joe, Will Hobbs. Please.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're telling us this is fake. You're telling us this is fake.
And the problem is, with big guys, he struggles. It's not even like he's smooth. He struggles with big guys.
He struggles to get them up. I think I remember him struggling to get up Preston Vance once. And nearly like dropping him on his head, but like caught himself. Like,
yeah, I've seen him. So like just do a power bomb. And also, do you know what I would have loved? Like if we're gonna do the power bomb symphony against like credible guys, I would have preferred like if let's say he did the power bomb, went through the pin, and then lifted the person's head back up and then did it. So it's like a disrespect thing, but not just standing there and doing Phantom of the Opera.
Psycho Walker says Wardlow's vibe was damaged by the MJF drama. There's a point. There's something there. Yeah, there's definitely something there, I would say. Half says Wardlow needs more momentum ASAP, though. You know that world title program with MJF is coming later this year or next year. I mean, there's something there as well, but I can't expect Wardlow to beat MJF.
No, but it'll be a good program to go back to, innit? And do it right.
There's a lot of material there as well.
Yeah.
MJF can just no show every time they meant to have an in-ring segment.
Yeah, definitely. That could be good. Okay. So it sounds like we're all going with Samoa Joe for the win, right?
Yeah.
Samoa Joe for the win. Cool. Let's talk about the tag division. Let's talk about the trios. AEW World Trios Championship is on the line. The Elite, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega defended the championships against House of Black. House of Black with their fleeting visits. You never see much of them, and then they pop up, kind of challenge the Elite. This week on Dynamite, the Elite were making an entrance, and lights went off, lights came back on. House of Black was standing behind them, lights went off again, lights come back on. Elite were laid out, and the House of Black had the championships. And later on the night, they had a promo as well backstage or in their little dark layer where they had the championships as well. I'm not too sure they personally should have had the championships when they done the backstage segment. Like, are they going to walk into Revolution with the championships now? Like, I don't really know what the plan is for that. Regardless, this is what the Mandem call Banger Badizio. Like, this one is it is gonna deliver. They didn't even need anything other than this week's show to kind of just build this, and we'll arrive at Sunday.
What music is this? Banga Badisio, baby.
This reverb is
But I'm gonna get onto the build a little bit though.
yeah.
I feel like for somebody, again, like I wouldn't say Malachi Black is Uncle Howdy levels, but he does do the mystical confusion storytelling a little bit as well. He's got a little bit of it. Like it's not as bad as Uncle Howdy, but the only reason why I say that is because it doesn't get as much TV time. So maybe it's that he doesn't get as much TV time.
That's it.
But,
That's it.
But it's still the mystical.
It's coherent. It's coherent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't lie. I can't honestly say that I 100% get it. Maybe I need to listen to it back like I do with Bray Wyatt.
It's more grounded for sure.
I can't say 100% get it, but like you're saying, it's a lot fewer and far between. He's not on TV every time and doing this every week and becomes very confusing.
And at least like with House of Black and like there's tangible things, do you know what I'm saying, attached to it. Like with the Cody stuff, he wanted to end his career and expose him. With this, it's kind of there's objects that we can identify and be like, that makes sense. Okay, you want the titles, you want to trick the elite.
And we knew their motive as well from when they came back.
Yeah.
We knew their motive. M. Night Breyer, we don't know what this guy wants. We have no idea. We don't know.
But
yeah.
But you see this one here. This match is going to be insane. Buddy Murphy and Kenny Omega in the same ring. Like, boy.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mental. It's mental.
I'm going to combust.
No, I can't lie. I want this. Like, I know we say AEW drag on storylines. I don't want this to be the end. Like, I want at least even if, because I want House of Black to win the Trios titles, but even if they win the Trios titles, give me some singles matches on Dynamite. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Give me, do you know what I'm saying? Give me Malachi Black versus Nick Jackson one week. Just stretch it and then have one final Trios match and then send it on. This one, you can't just come and go. Like, there are so many matchups between all three of these guys that you can see.
Even Nick Jackson versus Buddy Murphy would
Bruv. Like, there's a lot. This one, Tony, don't rush this one. You can next step. But at Revolution, House of Black. I want House of Black to win.
Okay, you want them to win?
I want him to win.
Dale, what are you thinking?
I'm Buddy Murphy stan, man. I need House of Black to win and get these elite niggas out of here, fam. Get them out of this division. Not even because I love the elite, but at the same time, like we've been saying,
put them where they need to be.
Put them where they need to be. Even if it's a thing where we just have Kenny just defending the IWGP US title on a weekly basis or every few weeks. Bro, look at the matchups that we can be seeing. Even Kenny Omega versus Brody King, brother. That match alone.
Yeah.
That match alone, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think we were saying earlier today in the Discord that this is definitely it's for the good of the entire show that the elite lose here and then can kind of spread their greatness around the card, doing other stuff. The Bucks can help with this tag division that's, you know, kind of just going a bit into obscurity right now. Kenny Omega, like we said, there's multiple singles matches to have, whether they just be kind of exhibition matches.
And plus, House of Black need this. House of Black
need it more, yeah.
Have been doing much ado about nothing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the only person in the House of Black that's got one semblance of shine in terms of their AEW run has been Brody King. I think he's been the shining light of House of Black. I feel like Malachi Black's been a disappointment, and that's due to like them not book. He was going to leave the company. Do you know what I'm saying? And then obviously, you know, they gave him incentive to come back. So, you know, show and prove in it. Like,
yeah, it's a great point. Jumping into the comments, Ayo, this is win or go home situation for House of Black. And it pretty much is. If they don't win here, yes, you know, like we're saying, there's potential for the story to continue. But if they don't win here, it's alarm bells, really. Harv says this feud build has been a miss, but I don't care. Just give me a 5-star classic like they will. Banger Bandizio. Anafi says, yeah, it's a Bandizi. Bandizio on the way. Atlas says, real Bandizio. Like, yeah, man, this It's got the people talking. Harv says, low-key hope it's the start of a longer feud, though, until like Double or Nothing when Chicago Phil shows up.
Hey, hey.
Hey, I'm ready for Phil to come back. I can't lie. I put my hands up. I cooked this nigga. I'm ready. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm ready. Listen, I'm ready for the Elite versus CMFTR. I'm ready for it.
If they came back like that, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. Yeah, at this point, like I've said a lot about what's his face, Phil Brooks, CM Punk. Like I'm ready for wrestling to be done with the guy personally. Like if he doesn't come back, I'm cool. I'm absolutely cool. But like,
there's money to be made with him.
There's money to be made, and we cannot deny that. And we like controversy and all of that kind of stuff.
Bro, him and this MJF feud would cook. You know what I'm saying? There's bare man he could cook against. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's Phil, listen, Chicago Phil, he dropped out of my top 10, but he's in my top 25. So, come back in it. And just
Mandem, quick round of applause from Harv. He's joined the membership.
Big up, Harv, enjoying himself so much in the chat. He's joined in. So
welcome to the gang members. Come join the members.
Love Harv. Thank you. Yeah, man. There's a lot still on the table with CM Punk. If everyone can just kind of get their ducks in a row, say their sorries, kiss and make up, and then start planning for the greater good.
And get FTR bold off Twitter as well.
FTR board. Yeah, FTR need to join in the fun as well. I don't really want to see them, there's a tease of them going to WWE or just going full stop. There's still stuff for them to do in the AEW.
Let the Bret Hart boys
them
cook. Let the Bret Hart tribute appreciation man cook.
That is so fucking funny.
Yeah, no, it's definitely time. I mean, Anafi has been saying this as well, so it's big facts. It's time to maybe extend the olive branch and bring back Phil. Jamie says it's a must win for House of Black. Yeah, like we're all saying.
100.
Nafi says join the membership for that Discord. Big facts. Psycho Walker, Murphy, Omega, Black, Battle of the V Triggers.
Oh yeah, Black has a V trigger too. Yeah.
Rank them. Let's rank them quickly.
Omega's
first. I'll say Murphy second.
Black's one's cold.
Black is second.
Black's one's cold.
You see Black's combos. I can't lie to you.
The combos are here, but
the combos with the V trigger. Yeah, I can't lie.
No, Mandem, you're getting me gassed. You're getting me gassed. Black will do a V trigger combo, then Kenny will just go behind them and do the snap suplex.
And Buddy Murphy will run in and come and do his own V trigger. Then the Young Bucks will now come and do double super kick. Everyone will just fall on the floor. This is wrestling.
This is awesome.
This is awesome. Hey, bag up there, Dizio.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah, this match should be good. This match should be very, very, very good. It's just like we're saying, what happens post this match.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. But we all think that it's gonna be the House of Black that's gonna win, yeah?
There must be House of
Negroes need to win.
If House of Black don't win, the pay-per-views automatically are 5 and below for me, fam. They must, bro. They must. It's unacceptable if they don't.
Yeah. We've got to see something new in that division, I reckon.
Right.
Cool. Let's talk about our AEW Women's Division. We got AEW Women's World Championship match. Saraya versus Ruby Soho versus the AEW Women's World Champion herself, Jamie Hayter. So the build for this match has more or less centered around this whole AEW originals versus the outsiders and stuff like that. And the outsiders want to show these AEW women how things are really done. Saraya's they flipped her. She came in as a face. She's now a heel. And Saraya's kind of leading the charge alongside Toni Storm of the outsiders. Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker are kind of leading the charge for the originals. And Ruby Soho, who came in the summer of 2021, obviously from WWE. She's not, she is an outsider, but I guess they're kind of classing her as someone that's been around long enough. And maybe not someone you would call a WWE talent. You know, she didn't get much shine over there or anything like that. So that's why she's kind of sitting on the fence. They've kind of bundled our world champion into this match with her championship to defend against these two ladies. Ruby Soho, personally, in regard to the story, am I the only one that finds it hard that people are here fighting over Ruby Soho? I find it hard to believe.
Why is she here?
I mean, in the context of AEW, I get it, but in the grand scheme of things, no, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me.
But I think where's Hikaru? Because do you know what it means?
Yeah, what happened to that story?
No, because she's the person that should be in this match, because she was kind of caught between two worlds in terms of she was with Toni Storm and Saraya, but then they started bad-mouthing the AEW originals, and then she was like, hold on, I'm an AEW, like, she should be in this match.
Yeah.
Like, Hikaru should be here. Like, this, like, I don't mind it being a triple threat, but if we're going to do the bold person that's been conflicted throughout this whole story is Hikaru. So put her there.
Yeah.
I got listen. If we're talking about purely for match quality, Ruby Soho is a good addition to this match. But if we're talking based on storyline, she shouldn't be here. It should be Saraya. What should even be? How many singles matches has Saraya had?
She had one, wasn't it last week or 2 weeks ago against, was it Sky Blue?
Oh, yes.
Everything else has been a tag match apart from her match with Britt Baker, obviously.
I mean, to be fair, there's no rankings anymore, so I guess it's not anymore, innit? But yeah, I mean, I feel like the match will be serviceable. I feel like listen, Jamie Hayter, we need to get her back into some singles runs because she's cooking. I feel she's cooking, but I don't know, get her back into some singles title defenses. But yeah, I feel like it'll be a good match. But this outsiders versus insiders thing, it could go somewhere. Do I trust it to go somewhere? No. But it could. Like, the makings of a story are there, but I don't trust it to go. Because I feel like in order to, like, tell the story properly, you've got to involve, like, the bulk of the women's division. Now, not everyone, but, like, you've kind of got to make it a big thing. And then build to, I wouldn't say a blood and guts, but build to something.
Yeah, I was just like to ask, do you think this is possibly maybe building towards maybe like an Anarchy in Arena or like a blood and guts for the women?
I totally forgot about an Anarchy in the Arena. I was thinking blood and guts, but I think that could be a good middle ground rather than putting women into a cage and then someone talking about, oh, how could this they barbaric putting 10 women into a cage and all this kind of stuff. And Anarchy in the Arena could be a good middle ground. But like you're saying, NK, rightly, yeah, there should be a lot more people involved in this. You've got a TBS champion that's never been pinned, that is doing much of nothing in her division.
She should be the number one draft pick.
She should be the number one draft pick. She should be the one that they're clamoring over and trying to get her on side. She's a heel like the rest of them. Yeah. She's a heel like the rest of them. She hasn't lost. Like I said, she's not really doing much anyway right now.
As well.
That should be the person you lot bring in. Like, yo, like now we're really cooking. Like,
and the thing is, you don't even if you don't want to like use her in the match yet, just on a promo, just like have her reference. Yo, I'm seeing these women calling me backstage for some nonsense. I'm above that. I ain't involved. I'm gonna get involved when I'm ready. Do you know what I'm saying? Just have her acknowledge what's going on there. So, because right now, I don't think the story, like, Jade obviously should be a part of it, but like she's not the central focus right now. But it should be building to a point where it's like, okay, Jade's been, been hearing calls from here, and then maybe at a double or nothing or whatever, Jade's like, okay, I'm gonna pick a side. But yeah, just I don't know. There should be a lot more women talking about this. Like at the end of the day, and Saraya turned heel by circumstance because she was cutting nonsense promos about she's above this AEW thing. So of course you have to turn heel. How can you come to my company and then talk about you're above it? Move. You ain't done nothing.
Yeah, that was a misstep.
It was a misstep from her. So I feel like I don't know. The women's division is always one step forward, two steps back. You've got a good champion, but now the storyline's not necessarily making sense. But
I think there was someone that was meant to come in here, and obviously the rumors are Mercedes Moné. I think there was someone or something that was supposed to happen here that hasn't quite gone to plan, and they're basically stalling with said match that we're talking about here, just doing other things in the meantime, because it was kind of picking up and catching some steam, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, okay, why aren't you guys recruiting people anymore? You really telling me for weeks now, Ruby Soho's the sticking point that you guys are fighting over? Like, it doesn't make sense in that regard. This is going to be one of the first pay-per-views since, especially when Britt Baker came to prominence, that she's not on. She's not having a match. What's our thoughts there? Should, you know, I know we like Britt Baker, but you know, sometimes it's overbearing. Her title run wasn't the greatest. Like, do you think like someone of her caliber should be being used in pay-per-views?
Do you know what? I like the fact I miss her, and that's a good thing, because I haven't even though she's on TV every week, yeah. I feel like this whole like the pushing of Jamie Hayter has allowed me to sit back and like, do you know what? Britt Baker, she's been doing that. She's been doing all right, and maybe reflect on her run in AEW and like have a lot more grit. Because I feel like there was a period of time where we were annoyed at Britt Baker, and I don't want to say it wasn't justified. Obviously, Tata Reign wasn't the greatest, but I feel like it was a lot of our frustrations about the women's division, and Britt Baker was obviously the face of that division, so like we labelled it a lot on her. And I feel like her taking a step back has kind of made me miss her, which is a good thing in wrestling. I feel like it's good to like have people miss you, not like go away for like 8 months like MJF did, but like you're on TV, but like, you know, we miss you in a prominent role. So when she does, so when she does come back in the story, I feel like the reception to her will be a lot more positive, because we're like, oh, we ain't seen you in a minute in these like prominent roles. It's good to have you back.
Yeah. Boys, I think this is a bit of a foregone conclusion. We think that Jamie Hayter is retaining here.
Yeah, just do.
At this point, I think that Ruby Soho's been put in a match to take the pin.
For sure.
Yeah. Cool. All right, then we are getting on to our main event. Big up everyone that's been, you know, watching, following along in the chat. Make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to go one further, do like our good brother Half did, become a member. Join us in the Discord where we talk, you know, WWE, we talk AEW, we talk about indies, and there's match predictions and match suggestions. All sorts within the Discord, all kind of perks that you get with the channel as well, exclusive content, early content. Let's get into our main event. It is the 60-minute Iron Man match between the AEW World Champion MJF defending against Bryan Danielson. This is, I guess, MJF's first big feud since becoming champion. Definitely his first pay-per-view main event since becoming champion. Obviously, he defended his title once in between this against Ricky Starks. Was successful. He's also had a match with Takeshita on TV. Won that match as well. Takeshita was obviously very close with Bryan Danielson, hence why, you know, Danielson kind of got involved in this whole program. And Danielson is, I guess, like I say, the first real attempt at kind of trying to displace MJF as champion. We've seen a lot of good promos between the two leading up to this. We saw obviously that promo from MJF in regards to taking that girl on a date, having a car crash, changing seats with her so that he doesn't get his license taken from him, showing that he's willing to do anything to win. Danielson, and we also had the promo about MJF losing his fiance, but you know, the only thing he cares about is becoming AEW World, or should I say, holding on to the AEW World Championship. Danielson obviously challenged him to the Iron Man match after going through the trials. And he's, you know, wants to kind of show that MJF isn't a wrestler, or, you know, he's not as good as a wrestler as Danielson. Has MJF got the stamina to kind of last within this match? There's a lot here on the line. 60 minutes, you know, we were talking about this again earlier today in the Discord. The perception of long matches, I don't feel like anyone really has an issue with them if you start the match and kind of have a 60-minute match. But when it's labeled 60 minutes, how do you think, you know, this can kind of be managed for the crowd to kind of stay invested throughout when you know it's going the distance?
Yeah, I feel like that's the trick. I mean, within storyline, a long match makes sense, because from Danielson's perspective, it's like, cool, I've never seen this guy into deep waters. This is a domain that I'm very comfortable in. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, and I feel like a lot of it is like perception, because a lot, like when the time limit's automatically 60, where it's like, oh, people already going into it thinking, oh, I don't like long matches, it's gonna be some dragged out nonsense. But if it was like a match that just naturally went 60 minutes, we buy more into the near falls. But because it's an Iron Man match, I mean, you can still buy into certain near falls because it still counts as a pin, but it just means the match will go long in it. But this is an interesting challenge, because this match is a very hard match to pull off. Even like greats, like for example Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, I don't particularly like their Iron Man match. I know it's a controversial, but I don't particularly like it. But Iron Man matches like are an acquired taste, and they're matches that you can get wrong easily. But if you manage to pull them off well, they're super exciting. So I feel like this is a massive challenge for MJF, especially because we've never seen him like in AEW in this setting. Of course, he's an incredibly talented wrestler, but this is like a new domain we've seen him in. So I don't know. The match could end up boring a lot of people. That's a very big possibility that people come out of this match saying that was boring, that was pretentious, that was self-congratulatory. But I don't know. I have faith. And I feel like this match will deliver. I don't think it will be like anyone's favorite match of the night just because of the nature of the match. But I feel like people will come out of this match with a better appreciation for MJF. And not just because he's a great wrestler, we know that, but because he was able to construct a match that was compelling for 60 minutes.
Dale, what's your thoughts on this build and the match you're going to get on the night?
I mean, initially with the build, we already kind of know what we're going to get with an MJF build. You know, you're going to have to go through the trials and tribulations. You're going to have to go through this, go through that, go through this before you get to me. And in MJF fashion, we've been getting that. I would say maybe like the last 2-3 weeks in terms of like the vignettes and the promos. I feel like that's when things have really been heating up. The vignette from last night was absolutely incredible. Just seeing MJF like getting himself into like incredible shape, him doing the cardio, like you can really see that as much as he's MJF and he's a bit of a dosser, but he's really taking this seriously. And he's like, MJF is the type of person, he will make it seem like he doesn't give a shit what people think, but he generally wants to show people that, listen, I can hang with the best. Like Bryan is saying that he's the best. No, I'm going to show him why I'm the best. So it's going to be very intriguing. And like you guys have said in terms of like Iron Man matches, like a lot of people's attention tends to kind of span towards the first 4 and then maybe the last 4, whether it's a tiebreaker or whether it's coming out of that tie. The middle tends to be like, unless there's maybe like high spots or shenanigans, a lot of people tend to not necessarily have that much attention to. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they do in this match and how they pull it off and how they keep people's attention. Because for us, we're Banger Badisios. We like this type of matches. So we're not going to necessarily be sitting there thinking, oh, this is boring, unless the match is actually boring. But it's going to be very interesting to kind of see the story that they tell within this 60 minutes. Like, are they going to faff around for the first 10 minutes? Is there maybe a game plan on someone's end of like, you know what, I'm going to give that person the first 4 and I'm going to work? Or like, it's going to be very interesting to see. And like, they could take this match in so many different directions. I feel like we already kind of know who's going to win, but I'm just intrigued to kind of see if this is going to literally be like bell to bell a clean match, or is this going to end up being in some sort of MJF fashion where we see where this is going to go. So now I can't wait to see this match. This is going to be a banger Badisio, but it's going to be like not but banger, but it's just going to be like a very long one, isn't it? Pause.
Yeah. I would absolutely love a Danielson AEW Championship run, and I'm pretty sure he said he's not into that. He doesn't want to do that. He don't want to be champion, which I understand. You know, maybe he feels like this is opportunity for other people, and just to be able to wrestle after the career that he had and nearly losing his career abruptly. That's enough for him, which is fine. I just feel like with his last run, his run as Planet Champion in WWE was great. His last run before he left WWE was great. Everything he's done since he's arrived in AEW has been amazing. Like, the belt is just perfect for Danielson, and to kind of take us back to again that meaning of, you know, what I thought AEW was going to be when they said they're going to create this company and kind of restore pro wrestling to the crowd. But I'm pretty sure we're all certain MJF retains here.
Yeah.
The question is how? Like you said, if it's shenanigans, this, that, and the other. Do you think there's a set? What, the arm?
The arm.
Danielson's arm. Yeah.
Danielson's arm. I feel like it's going to be a thing where, like, I feel like the arm's going to be the main, like, storytelling point of the match. And I feel like, Fujiwara armbar. Maybe Danielson won't tap out, but maybe pass out. I feel like the arm's going to be like the main finishing point where his arm gives out on him.
So what, for every fall that he has?
No. The final fall. No. I feel like for the most part it'll be a clean match in it. But then I feel like maybe there'll be a point towards like the last fall, maybe like the last 50 minutes where, you know, Danielson's doing, you know, recycle knees, MJ is kicking out, and then MJF just starts like mauling that arm.
Ripping off his arm.
Yeah. Not for the whole match. If it's the whole match, if it's 60 minutes of arm work, I'm cooking the match. Like, don't get me wrong. But like, yeah. I feel like towards the end, the arm will be the main thing that divides them.
Something like that.
That would have to be the start and the end as well.
Yeah.
Something like that. Say like going into like say the last 15 minutes, if Danielson was like 2 falls up, and then like MJF just kept ripping at the arm and then like tap out or pass out, and then they restart it, and then MJF rips at the arm, and like MJF is looking at the clock and just waiting for him. Like, I feel like a nice flurry of like just literally taking advantage of the arm, the crowd being like, you're gonna rip this guy's arm off, the crowd booing, and that's like it's a good kind of heel way to a heat magnet way to kind of get the win over. It would be repetitive on the arm, but it's MJF, like he doesn't care sort of thing. He's just doing what he needs to do to get the win.
I've got another, not even a theory, but another question. We know MJF would want to win at any means necessary. Let's say, for example, Bryan Danielson's up 3-2. Last minute, he gets a fall. The match ends in a draw. I feel like MJF will be satisfied with a draw because he still retains the belt.
Yeah,
I personally wouldn't want it, but in the means of his story, he survived the 60 minutes.
I think
if it was a time limit draw, I would have been fine. But Iron Man draw, I'm not okay with that. Because
it's still a time limit draw. It's 60 minutes. He survived. It's MJF. He survived.
Yes. For MJF, it works.
If it's Kenny Omega and Daniel, completely different.
Yeah.
There's no satisfaction in that because we need a definitive winner. But for MJF, he does not care how he wins. He needs to win.
For MJF and his character, it definitely works. But where people are talking about his title run, I feel like they would be putting him into dangerous waters. Not to say MJF can't navigate through these waters, but I think it'll just be giving people another thing to talk about, saying, you know, the champion's first real title defense on pay-per-view or pay-per-view main event. And that's the other issue. So pay-per-view main event, like, you don't necessarily want to end it like that. It's kind of flat.
But if it is, I don't know, but if it is MJF, I feel like the pay-per-view will end with people booing anyway. Like, not in terms of like the match was bad, but because it's MJF in it. So I feel like if you do a draw and then maybe he not cuts a promo, but does something, an angle afterwards where it's like, yeah, I'm a hammer at home that I'm MJF, I'm better than you, and and you send the crowd off like sad, but like on a high note in terms of like, okay, this is like climactic, then I think it'll be all right. I don't know. The match would have to be, I would say, in order for that to work, the match would have to be like amazing. For it to be a draw, and then the match would have to be like, okay, like it's a draw, MJF that took a cheap moral victory, but the match would have to be like very satisfy people in terms of, okay, this was a match worth staying 60 minutes for.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Do you think MJF could do something along the lines, you know, of using a weapon, it loses a fall, but it's to basically for the greater good of the match?
Yeah,
This would probably be Daniel Bryan's first fall into the ring, and he's got the advantage because he's still up. Do you know what I mean? So I can see that happening.
Put his arm in a chair or something like that.
Yeah, stuff like that makes sense. Like stuff like that, if he does that, then he gets the fall immediately afterwards. It's like, yeah, fine. That's fine. I don't mind that. And you can do stuff like that in the Iron Man match, and you've got a lot of time to do stuff. Is that sometimes too much time is daunting for wrestlers, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if there's any other, the reason why I'm comfortable is because it's MJF and Danielson, isn't it? That Danielson's been here, you know what I'm saying? So it's fine.
Sometimes you need to be on the defensive to be on the offensive, so it could work.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that happening.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so yeah, we look like we're all in the camp of MJF walking out as champion. It's it's early days, obviously still within his reign, but just as a future prediction, who do you guys see in maybe right now beating MJF for this title?
Is it too early to go back to Hangman? I think it is, isn't it?
Well,
because Hangman's someone that Hangman's someone that they could heat up again and then have him defeated. Like obviously people are fantasy booking Eddie Kingston. Nah, like let's be guided. But I don't know. I feel like somebody, like I said, I don't know. Obviously, if they bring back Punk, then Punk won't defeat him, but that could be another future story. Like, I don't know. They can go so many different directions with this.
I mean, Hangman's a good suggestion for someone that's already in and around that area.
Levels.
Yeah. I can't lie, low key, this might be a long shot. I'm just hearing Ricky Starks' music. I'm being real. Ricky Starks for me, man.
Ricky Starks is definitely a suggestion, someone that people could get behind to win, even though he's not like as strong a favorite as someone like a Hangman. But yeah, definitely.
All these people saying Eddie Kingston for him to lose in one day, they're all cooked, man.
Eddie Kingston,
fuck off, man.
Is a TNT champion. Like he's a TNT champion for sure.
It's a good suggestion from Harv here. Darby.
Darby's cold.
I don't know if I'm personally ready to see Darby become AEW World Champion. I'm not, to be completely honest. But I hear him as a suggestion. I get it.
Yeah, because I feel like he's done the TNT Championship thing. Like he's kind of like he's like the upper. Like if you talk about mid card, he's like number one of the mid card.
Yeah, that's facts.
I feel like it's like for him to ascend into championship. But I would say if we're gonna do Darby, I'd say have him lose to MJF one more time before he wins. I'd say put him give him because I think the only title match he's had was against Jericho, and that was early days of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Have him lose to MJF and then have it be a thing where he comes back at the end and then I don't know. But the thing, I guess the beauty, I think Doughboy said this, I guess the beauty of this MJF title run is kind of we don't know. And with AEW, it's been we've been able to see one after the other, which I think was fine because at least we had an idea of where things are going. But sometimes throw us for a loop. And I feel like this MJF title run, I feel like whoever wins is somebody, obviously we'll start figuring stuff out as builds progress and as somebody's getting a lot more momentum. But as of this point right now, it's anyone's game. And
what about this suggestion? Adam Cole.
Yeah. That's a shout.
I'd be game with that.
I'd be very okay with that. I'd be very okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind this at all.
I would be very okay.
Having had such a extended period, nearly 6 to 9 months off, they would definitely need to reheat him and give him some wins and all of that kind of stuff.
But
this isn't happening in my opinion until next year. MJF is holding that title for the entire year. So
do you think he goes down as longest reigning AEW champion? Because obviously Kenny's got that record.
Yeah, I think he surpasses Kenny's record. Kenny was just shy of a year, wasn't he?
Yeah, just about. Kenny won the title
He won it at Winter's Coming.
Winter's Coming, which was after Full Gear, yeah. So just shy of a year, yeah.
Yeah. So no, Adam Cole's a big shout, but yeah, like we're saying, the chances are this ain't even gonna happen.
Adam Cole and Hangman are probably like number 1 and number 2 for me, whichever order you want to put them in.
Cool, guys. That is our AEW Revolution 2023 preview and prediction show. We appreciate you guys watching along, joining in the comments. If you're going to watch this back, we hope you enjoy it as well, and make sure you enjoy the show. Join the membership. We will have a watch party, and we'll be talking about the event as it's going on, so you can join the membership and join in on the Discord for that as well. You know, the rest of the stuff, drop a like, comment, subscribe if you're new here. Guys, any announcements or anything?
Just join. That's the only announcement.
Just join.
Just join this thing. That's it. Just join it. You feel me?
Big up Atlas. Like we said, podcast out tomorrow. Atlas is featuring on that one. So you guys tune in, whether you tune in on YouTube or on the podcast version. And hope you guys enjoy the pay-per-view, and we will see you next time.
Peace.